Hello, Gordon here, hope all is well with you. And this video I've called, What Do You Sound Like? And when you say it like that, what do you sound like? You could think of other expressions like, oh, have a listen to yourself, or have a word to yourself. And when people use that expression to people, what do you sound like? What they're saying to people is, if you took yourself out of yourself, if you were another person listening to yourself, you would probably be thinking they're talking rubbish or they're sounding ridiculous. So what do you sound like? And the reason I asked that question, and I'm talking about this today, is you will have seen in my other content, or you can go and see my other content, I talk about in the online passion profits model, making you and your monetization offer stand out from anyone else, and anyone else's monetization offer is engagement. Engagement between someone else, the genuine, authentic someone else, and you, the genuine, authentic you. And you do that engagement to create that bond that they know, like and trust you, which is a cliche that people buy from people they know, like and trust. But as with a lot of cliches, it's a cliche because it's true. Now, people buy from people that they don't know, they don't like and they don't trust. That's also true. But the point is, you're trying to get people to buy from you that they definitely do buy if they know, like and trust what people are talking about. It doesn't have to be video, by the way. It doesn't have to be talking. You can do it via the written word. And before the social media exploded and the equipment and the affordability of equipment exploded, the written word really was the way to go. And there's still nothing wrong with just the written word. Or you can do videos just with slides. But because things like the social media and Facebook Lives, which is what I'm doing now, allow us to talk, moving pictures off the cuff, live, and then can be watched, recorded 365 days a year. All I need is an internet connection and a device, and anyone is good to go. I'm good to go with that setup, and so are you. Because that's the case, why not use Facebook Live and video? Because Facebook happens to like Facebook Lives at the moment, so it shares your message more if you're sharing it via that vehicle. If that all makes sense, why do people not do it? The reason people don't do it, is a couple of reasons, is because they think they can't. They think they can't. They think they have to be a public speaker or skilled in presentation or an expert. Now, all of those things help because clearly all of those people who are or have those things can do it. But my point is, anyone can do it. And here's why. The best way of doing it in today's social media world, and I'm recording this in spring 2019, is to just be you, to talk. That's it, to talk conversationally. And if that's the case, anyone can have a conversation because we all have a conversation, but we just don't regard having a conversation as being a skill or public speaking. But having a conversation, we're employing lots of skills when we have a conversation. Listening, moving with the flow, basing our words on a foundation that we already know, listening to the feedback. Those are conversational skills. Yes, they can be developed, but we all talk to all sorts of people about all sorts of things all the time. But when it comes to creating video for the internet, creating a video, oh, you've got to get everything right. You've got to get the sound right, the lighting right. What do you look like and what do you sound like? And it's that difference in the mind. We think that it's that much different. We then start to tell ourselves it's not for us. We can't do it because we're not good enough. And some people who've never tried it, when they do try it for the first time, they may not try it for the second time because the first time is so uncomfortable that it puts them off trying a second time because it drives home the fact that they think it's not for them. And one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that it's so uncomfortable the first time for people is they don't know what they sound like. And I'm not talking about what do you sound like. I'm talking about the question asked like this. What do you sound like? What do you sound like? What does your voice sound like? Because when people hear their voice recorded and they hear it back for the first time, they're in for a shock because the normal reaction is, oh God, I don't sound like that, do I? Or I didn't think I sounded like that. And the answer is, well, actually, yes, you do sound like that. When we hear our voice recorded and played back to us for the first time, it sounds different to us than how we thought our voice sounded. And that's because it's an input coming into our brain in a different way than we've had that input. Actually, in reality, the difference is not that huge because the more and more and more that you do it, and I've spoken about repeated action before, haven't I? The more you do it, you'll realise that the difference gets smaller and smaller and smaller between what you thought you sound like and what you actually sound like when you hear it in your ears. And then you get used to it. You get used to hearing your own voice so that then when you hear it back, you're concentrating on what you said and the way you said it, but you're not concentrating or worried about how you sound. Does that make sense? It's an interesting point and it's an important point and it's something that you have to go through. Before you get used to something, you have to go through being not used to it. Seems logical, doesn't it? Now, when it comes to what you're saying and how you're saying it, again, that could also come under the banner of what do you sound like? Because when you're talking, it is important what you're saying and it's important how you're saying it. And again, they are skills that can be developed because when you're having a conversation with someone, you can drift off, you can forget your point, you can make mistakes, you might make bodily noises, I don't know, in the middle of a conversation. But when you're doing it in order to engage with people, strictly speaking, you could just carry on in that same way. But it's better as you go along to start to embellish your skills, to start to use more words, to start to bed in the foundational pillars of message, I like to call it, the knowledge that you're talking about. And then to maybe learn some skills in how you're talking. The tone of your voice, the pitch of your voice, the speed that you're talking, etc., etc., etc. And I'll cover those in other videos because they are important elements of the online passion profits model. Because as you know, I think that the best way to differentiate yourself, say it now, I've made a mistake there, haven't I? It took me 3 goes to pronounce differentiate. Now, does that matter? Well, strictly speaking, if it was a professional presentation or a video, that would have to be redone. It would be edited out. But in an offline conversation, it wouldn't matter. You'd have a laugh about it. You don't redo a conversation offline because you took 3 goes to pronounce differentiate. You wouldn't redo the conversation, would you? And the same applies online. So it's a classic case of me doing what I'm talking about. I had to say a word 3 times to pronounce it properly, and then I spoke about and had a laugh about that problem. And then that's me being genuine and authentic, because obviously it's a live video. So I'm not pretending. So yeah, I'll talk about those extra skills in another video, because to differentiate yourself from anyone else and everyone else, doing Facebook Lives is a great way of doing it. Whatever your niche, whatever your passion, and whatever your monetization offer, the point applies to all of those. And by the way, if you'd like to know more about it and you're thinking, well, how does it apply? I don't understand. I've got a question, or my passion is X. Why would how I sound like be relevant to turning my passion for X into profit online? If you'd like to find out more, if you've got any questions, you can go over to the website, onlinepassionprofits.com/chat. And on that page, there's a 35-minute presentation covering what I call the 3-2-1 breakdown of turning passions into profits, where I cover the fundamentals. And also on that page, there's details of the best way you can get in touch with me, and you can have a little chat with me, and you can ask me these questions one-to-one with me, and we can go backwards and forwards and look at your passion and see how we can apply the models to that passion. onlinepassionprofits.com/chat. So let me know what you think of that video. Let me know, what do you sound like? Have you ever heard your voice recorded and played back to you? And what did you think of it? Or are you at that stage now where you know what you sound like? It's not a problem for you anymore. You've got used to it. Hit the like button if you like the video. I'd appreciate that. Helps me share the message via Facebook's algorithms. Hope all is well with you. Wishing you as ever health and happiness. And I will speak to you again tomorrow.